ASMR artist. I hope your day is going well. Today I wanted to do a reaction video. I recently saw a video on Jubilee called Do All ASMRtists Think the Same? I wasn't sure how this was gonna go because I've never tried to do a commentary whilst sketching before, so I've done a bit of prep work. The ASMR artists are listed down in the description box below. I hope this video helps you relax. Let's start. 6 ASMR artists to see the range of their beliefs and experiences.
Hi guys, my name is April Buckles, also known as April's ASMR on YouTube. I do fast and aggressive, and I'm just really weird. I have 2 cats, and that's about it.
Hello everybody, I am Raphy from Raphy Taphy's ASMR, and I'm just excited to be here.
Hey guys, it's Raphy.
Wait, can I restart? Okay.
Hey guys, it's Raphy. Frivolous Fox ASMR, and I have 3 cats.
I'd like to add that I also have 1 cat.
Hello everybody, my name is Gibi. I've been making ASMR for 4 years and my channel is Gibi ASMR. Also, I'm more of a dog person.
My channel is Batala's ASMR, and I enjoy making all types of ASMR content. I have no pets. I want a dog though. No one asked, but I also have no pets. I think I'm more of a dog person, I have to say. ASMR Glow, call me Glow, and I'm a big fan of Jubilee, so I'm really excited to be here. I don't have pets.
ASMR is sexual. April?
I love how this is the first question. We're just getting right into it.
Strongly disagree.
Raphy?
Strongly disagree.
Frivolous?
Disagree.
Gibi?
Strongly disagree.
Batala?
Strongly disagree.
Glow?
Disagree.
ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response, is not
It's the dictionary definition for me.
sexual. They did a study on it. People's heart rate's slow. People are calmer. When you are sexually aroused, it is the opposite.
I think the kind of intimate aspect of ASMR, the whispering, and it's a very personal one-on-one, type of content, can sometimes be mistaken for a sexual thing.
What I always like to compare it to is when I was younger, the first ever ASMR experience I had, I was like 9 or 10, and my history teacher was like trying to teach me how to do something, and the sound of her clicking and the sound of her whispering made me have tingles. So I was like, okay, so how could that be sexual?
I like to compare it to like real life massages. Out of context, you're like, I'm gonna go into a dark room and a stranger is going to rub my body. When something new like that comes up, like ASMR, and nobody understands what it is, you're like, I really like to listen to people whisper into my ears. People are like, well, it's gotta be a sex thing.
And also the point that there is going to be erotic ASMR. But that's kind of a null point too, because there's going to be sexual anything, because that's what we do.
It's just like Hollywood, there's like movies, and then there's like the sexual branch, which is like porn. Does that make the normal movies sexual? No, it's just the same with ASMR.
Like, sex in general, as its own thing, there's nothing wrong with it.
Can you tell my child himself that?
Dude!
Sorry. I mean, I've gotten a lot of this, being the one that did ear eating and stuff. I loved mouth sounds, and I was so fascinated with the 3DO, and I was so nervous before that because I had thought about it. But then I recognized that no matter what videos I was posting, as long as my face was in there or I was in there in some capacity whispering or whatever, there were going to be sexualized comments saying inappropriate things or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm recognizing that so many people love these sounds too, and it's not sexual, and if I can...
This, I feel, is definitely true. This is kind of a life is what you make it kind of cliche. But for quite a few people, I'd say ASMR started like by accident, and it was not introduced in that way. So I think when you're
reactions that you had whilst watching it, and I think that reminds you that, even though there is sexual ASMR and stuff, the ASMR you're doing is just not related. I mean, who finds this strong sexual? That's really funny. I feel like people sexualize everything, but yeah, let's continue.
To help them, I was like, let's just do it, and just kind of accepted it, and I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too, it is just people sexualizing women, because I can't say that I get many sexual comments or in my comment section, but that's just because I'm a guy.
My friends and family think my job is weird. April,
Strongly disagree.
Raphy,
Strongly disagree.
Frivi,
Agree.
Gibi,
Strongly disagree.
Batala,
Agree.
Glow.
Disagree. It took a lot of time for people around me to understand it. Like my parents, obviously they're from a different generation. On top of that, anything that's ASMR, because it's so new, that how do you describe that to someone when they try to watch my videos? It's just me making sounds. But eventually I saw that it didn't actually matter that they understood what I was doing. They would still support me in whatever I was doing because they saw that it was important.
When I very first started ASMR, when I hadn't shared with anyone what I was doing, somehow my parents come across my channel on their own. And I remember my mom...
I'm so scared of this happening, but let's continue.
She literally cried and was very worried about what I was doing. She completely didn't understand it, but over the years they've seen what it is, and now it's literally my dad shows my videos to absolutely everyone he comes across. It's probably a little embarrassing, but he's my biggest fan and my biggest supporter.
In the beginning, I had many interventions from my family saying, like, you need to stop. I don't know what you're doing. But over time, I think after especially I started showing them some of these comments, these emails, these messages that I was getting from people that had PTSD, tinnitus, they were war heroes, like it's just from all different walks of life personally thanking me for my videos. And so my friends and family, I don't think still understand, and they definitely think it's weird. I think they respect it now because they recognize how passionate I am about it, and how even though it doesn't really help them, they can see how ASMR has affected and helped so many people.
My dad will reply to comments. My mom will reply to hate comments too.
My mom will delete them sometimes.
Same.
My mom checks in on me. She's like, I saw that really mean comment in your video. I'm so sorry. I was like, Mom, what comment? What are you talking about? I think you've been scrolling for like 3 hours.
I tell her
It's
not to look.
okay.
I'm like, you don't. Just don't look.
So weird.
Some ASMR grosses me out. April,
Agree.
Raphy,
Disagree?
Frivi,
Somewhat agree.
Gibi,
Somewhat disagree.
Batala,
Somewhat disagree.
Glow.
Somewhat agree.
For the most part, I kind of enjoy a very broad range of ASMR. I love the mukbang community. I like watching people eat.
What do you think about sexual ASMR?
Right.
I don't consume sexual ASMR, so maybe that, yeah, it's almost like
It's so hard for me to be judgmental because like people just see something and they're like, ew. And I'm like, just relax. You're obviously doing something for someone, somewhere, somehow, whatever. I get mukbangs, even sexual ASMR.
Yeah, I'm not like a fan of sexual ASMR, but that's not something that I'm gonna watch.
Can I ask why? Does it make you feel uncomfortable? Does it make you...
It's just not like an effect that I'm trying to like get. Like I watch ASMR for relaxation,
Yeah.
but not like necessarily to get like aroused.
I would just like to clarify. The reason I said this was because
You hate my finger flutters. Don't lie to me.
I just get very uncomfortable and I'll like click off of it. It's more this one lady was eating live squid, like live animal, but most of it I think it's really cool. No judgment. Like, do your thing.
I've come across BDSM type of ASMR. She was in a dungeon and she had the whips and you sit down.
This is really funny. You could definitely get lost in the YouTube space, just searching for all sorts of anything ASMR. Just type ASMR in anything, and there will be results. Yeah, this is funny.
right here. You've been so bad.
Stabbing you to death ASMRs.
I love those.
Angelica's videos.
Angelica.
Where she's like, I'm your period, and she's like pissed that you're not pregnant, so she's like taking eggs and like squishing them.
There's a couple role plays that like they're like role plays or like
That gives me
Mean
tingles.
Girl. I can't do it because it just takes me back to high school, and I'm just like, I'm trying to relax here.
Dude.
I don't need to have like.
It gives me tingles. It's because I've been watching ASMR for so long that like the hello sweetie, everything's gonna be fine. I'm like, I've seen it. So they're like, sit your ugly ass down and let me do your makeup. I'm like, yeah.
Though one time.
This reminds me of videos where people are beating you with a shoe. I think it's Sharp, ASMR Sharp. That video is so funny. I think it's because it's so unexpected. Now, just good content.
I did look up. Okay, this was my fault because I needed to know. I was curious. I looked up ASMR farting just to see if it would be a thing. I clicked on this guy who had like a jar of jam and it was just like.
Oh my god.
I wish you didn't say it. I looked this up afterwards. I hope you guys know that.
I've had to protect myself from some of my viewers. April,
Agree.
Raphy,
Somewhat agree.
Frivy,
Strongly agree.
Gibi,
Strongly
Oh
agree.
my god, I've got to hurry
Batala,
up.
Somewhat agree.
and Glow.
Strongly agree.
I need to preface this with that 99% of my community are angels, and I love them. Like, it really upsets me that I can't share everything because of the small minority that they legitimately they want to hurt you. I want to do meetups, I want to vlog, and I cannot, and it frustrates me so much.
Same.
People were sharing my well, it wasn't even my address, it was my parents' address around online, and just people adding me on my personal Facebook, and it feels really invasive. It makes me worry, right? Because it's not even my address floating around there. It's like if there's someone who wanted to do harm to my parents, and I'm sure this is something that people tend to target, I think, women more on YouTube than guys. So I don't see it as much, and I've never felt unsafe. So I have a lot of respect for you ladies that you put yourselves out there.
I will say I've talked to like I have like guy gamer friends, YouTubers, and they still experience it.
I had actually a really recent experience. I recently posted my address by mistake on Instagram, and it had already had like over 2,000 likes. Like, I had messed up. Things have been coming to my house, and like Raphy said, it's not my house right now. It's my parents' house. It's just some of the things you don't, I guess, expect. You don't think to look out for things like that. And I've always came from a lifestyle where like you can just post whatever, and only people that are going to see is people in this city. And I live in a very small town, so like everybody know me already. So what does it matter? There is a few that just love to mess around, and they love to do what they do.
Yeah, I think some people don't even recognize, like, oh, people might see me outside and they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, can I take a picture and all that? And then I kind of have to say, like, please don't post where we are or whatever, because I've had like very disturbed people that have been stalking me, and I've had to like ramp up my home security. I've gone and talked to the police so they know where I am. Like, I've gone to certain extents to make sure that I am protected. I don't know. I don't
It's
know
not
if
your
it's just
fault.
like, yeah, maybe we're more of a target in ASMR because it's more personal, it's more intimate. I've gotten people who kind of put together something in their head and they think that we're dating, and so they got really upset that I got a boyfriend, and then there's all of this, that comes from that.
For me, being black in general in the world, we're dealing with a lot of racism. Throughout my YouTube career, I've dealt with a lot of using the N-word and then going off saying like, "How I want you to die. You're just ugly. You're this. You're this." Like, it's very prominent as a black ASMR artist to get.
Obviously, I have like 2 videos, and I'm not getting any of these comments. But I mean, it's just really unfortunate. Like, how else do you describe? I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you just start to think, well, this is the price you pay for putting yourself out there, but it really doesn't have to be this way. But it's
I'm kind of in the same spot where I'm Jewish, so I do read the same kind of atrocities. It's getting to the point where you're scared to put yourself out there. I literally stopped taking Instagram pictures like outside because I'm like, what if the background, what if they recognize it?
Never.
Whatever. Like this green tree, maybe they're gonna like pinpoint that it's like where I am.
But they would. They
I
literally
know.
would.
They would.
I find myself really like paying attention to every little detail of what I do in a day to like make sure that I'm not putting my information out there and like just like protecting my life. It becomes insane.
The ASMR community lacks diversity. April,
I'm gonna say agree.
Raphy,
Agree.
Frivy,
Agree.
Gibi,
Somewhat agree.
Batala,
Agree.
and Glow.
Somewhat agree.
I'll tell you why I said somewhat. Is because I watch a lot of ASMR artists, and there are so many amazing small creators. Every country, every like age, every like you can find it now. But it's really hard to find them. What is pushed at the top on YouTube, what's pushed at the top of the ASMR community, is disturbingly non-diverse.
One of the things too is we don't see a lot of male ASMR artists kind of grow to big, to the big channel statuses. ASMR is kind of an intimate thing for a lot of people, and some people feel kind of more uncomfortable with having that experience with a male, I think.
That's so true. But when I saw like Raphy and I got tingles from him, and he just looks so, like, I just want to hug you. Look like you're such like a huggable person. He had a cat on his mattress and his Helix sponsor, and I was like, that's cat.
Thank you.
I feel that as a black person, the algorithm of YouTube, or just algorithm in life, it's always white, and then it just trickles down from there. If I search into YouTube, like the first thing you see is just like the white ASMR artist.
And I can speak from experience.
Just a hack in terms of challenging the algorithm when you search, as opposed to just seeing the standard YouTube search. You could order sorted from most recently uploaded as opposed to just what YouTube kind of recommends. That tends to get smaller, hidden channels. But yeah, what Batala said about the algorithm of life is so true.
When I have these blue contacts in, and when I have my hair straightened, I get way more views than when I have my hair natural with brown eyes.
Yeah. It's not like they're doing it on purpose, like, oh, I just want to watch a white person today. Or, I think it's more of just like they kind of unknowingly just choose what they're comfortable with. And I feel like ASMR can be more diverse, but it's getting there, though. It's getting there.
ASMR is my main source of income. April,
Agree.
Agree.
Frivy,
Agree.
Gibi,
Strongly agree.
Batala,
Strongly agree.
Glow.
Strongly agree.
I entered the ASMR space like at just the perfect time, and when it made more sense for me to be filming a video than to sit at my minimum wage job, I quit my job. I feel like I have the freedom to be making as much content as I'd like for people. YouTube is just kind of like a big old question mark sometimes. We have no contract, we have no nothing, it just is what it is.
There's just zero transparency as to what is acceptable.
Yeah, YouTube can be difficult if you put mouth sounds or wet or these certain words, you can get demonetized, and I've dealt with that a lot. With it being your main income, you kind of struggle with like, okay, so should I post this or should I like do something else, because what if it gets demonetized? So you never know with YouTube.
It's so frustrating. It
And
is
they won't
so
be transparent
frustrating.
about that at all.
It's just been very up and down whether they like ASMR or not.
There was moments that I felt I was literally like shadow banned on YouTube because, I was the ear eating girl, but no matter what, even from that point, it was like I uploaded a brushing my hair video, demonetized. And I'm like messaging them and I'm getting so upset because like I was month to month, and I'm like, do I get to quit my job or not? Like, I'm in the middle here, and I'm just brushing my hair.
As ASMRs, we also deal with the ads. So, you know, when you watch regular YouTube, they have like 20 ads, and we gotta put like one just for relaxation. They want to sleep, so you have people that still complain, why is there an ad in here? Like, okay, you just like let me put my one
Nothing
ad
is
in here.
free.
So we deal with that too.
And I think the reason why I've now said agree is because sponsors have like changed my life. I stream on Twitch as well, and I just had an amazing community that was supporting me that way with subs and donos and stuff like that. I was always making more from Twitch than I was YouTube.
And you know, like knowing all the highs and lows that we've been through on YouTube, especially with ASMR, YouTube is such a risk. For example, I don't imagine myself still being like the content creator that I am right now in I don't know, in 5 years I imagine that people will have forgotten.
I have an expiration date.
Well,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah,
like younger
for
people
sure.
will come, will be more creative.
Save your
and,
money.
like,
Save your damn money.
Like we will probably disappear. It's just like it can be sometimes okay, but it also can be not okay. So it's a gamble.
ASMR is therapy. April,
Strongly agree.
Raphy,
Agree.
Frivy,
Somewhat agree.
Gibi,
Somewhat agree.
Batala,
Somewhat agree.
and Glow.
Agree.
My thing with this is the word therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never thought that ASMR is like a substitute for getting therapy with a professional, but is it therapeutic?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Therapeutic.
Yes.
Strongly agree. Don't underestimate real professional therapy.
I feel that some people look to ASMR to solve their problems, and I've gotten comments sometimes where they're upset that this didn't work or that didn't work, and it's like, I can't really be your therapist. I'm just trying to relax you and calm you down, you know?
I said strongly agree because, at least for me, I didn't really need ASMR to an emotional extent until this past December when I just got a breakup. It was 6 years. I was engaged. It didn't work out, and I just did not want to wake up anymore. And people used to request, like, do videos where you say everything's okay, and I never did it. And now I understand why people just need to hear everything's going to be okay. Like, you're fine. You're beautiful. You can wake up in the morning. You can go eat. You can go get dressed, because I wasn't doing any of those things, and I just really needed someone to wake me up and say, okay, April, get up, get dressed, go eat your breakfast. It's going to be okay.
We also underestimate how important sleep is. Like, it ruined my life for many years. I could not sleep because I was so anxious every single night. And just the fact that ASMR was there for me, like, I knew when I was making content that it had the potential to affect people, but even I didn't know that it would go this far. Yeah. And it's very humbling. Very, very humbling.
I could go forever on this subject. I'm really pushing for research in the field of ASMR because I have a lot of people on the autism spectrum in my community, and one person told me once something that I will always remember. Autistic people, they crave hugs, but they hate touch and proximity, so ASMR is giving them some kind of like compromise. And I've had a lot of people with depression, PTSD, suicide problems. So many people who told me how ASMR impacted them, and I think ASMR can help together hand in hand with a lot of different therapies.
Something to consider as well is that for some people, and especially younger people, sometimes therapy isn't something that's accessible to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is the only form of therapy that they have access to. And that's something that I didn't consider when I started my YouTube channel. I just kind of started it for fun and to make fun sounds because I enjoyed watching sound assortments and stuff like that. And then you slowly realize how many people you are impacting.
I think society nowadays, we lose more and more touch with people. We lose more and more proximity, especially during now quarantine. And I think ASMR sort of brings back, like, fills a little bit of a void.
I want to give everyone a hug.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a wrap, guys.
This has been super
Yeah,
fun.
it's so nice to talk
Thank
to
you,
all of you.
guys.
Ikai.